Okay, we're learning a mimer called Gadol Yeh Kavod Abayit Hazeh Achron Min Rishon. It is also in Kuntresim Aleph. Here it is, Kuntresim Aleph, on page 116, opposite 116, page Nun Tet. So it talks about this thing called the Holy Temple. The Jewish people used to have a building that was called a Holy Temple. And this Holy Temple was in Jerusalem. It had a very exact place it had to be. And essentially, immediately after God gave them the Torah, it was already a commandment to make this Holy Temple. When they were in the desert, it was portable. Then it was called the Mishkan, but it was still called the Mikdash, Aseli Mikdash. V'shachanti betocham. So this Mikdash originally was portable, and then when they came into Israel, for the next, whatever is 440 years, it was in various places. And sometimes it was a little more stable. It had walls of stone, but the top of it was always, the top of it was never stone, until it came to Jerusalem. It came to Jerusalem, built by Solomon, the son of King David, as then it was permanent. And it stood for 410 years until the Babylonians destroyed it. And they destroyed it because of the sins of the Jewish people. It doesn't mean that they're not guilty, but it was because of the sins of the Jewish people that they destroyed it. And then the Jewish people were in exile for 70 years, and then came back Ezra and everybody, and they built the second temple. They built the second temple, and the second temple stood. It was refurbished, rebuilt, whatever it is, from the foundation. It was rebuilt by Herod. In any case, altogether it stood for 420 years. The second temple. So the second temple was bigger in size and bigger in years than the first temple. So some people say that's what this prophecy in Haggai, the prophet Haggai, was referring to. That greater will be the glory of this house, the last one, than the first one. So the last one seems to be implying the second temple. And also it's called the last one. So maybe the second temple is the last temple. So it says, no, if you look in the Zohar, you'll see that the number, when something is called last, doesn't necessarily mean it's the last. The number, it means that up to now it's the last. It's number 2. And he brings examples, but when we're talking about the last house, we're talking about the one that is going to be really the last. Nothing is going to come after it. And that is the third temple that the Mashiach is going to build. And the Mashiach is going to build the third temple, and according to the Zohar, it's already there. It's somehow or other spiritually or whatever here. And it's going to be revealed by the Mashiach. It'll come from heaven, which heaven is not necessarily up in the sky. Heaven could be that it's right here. It's just coming from another dimension. It'll be something like the raising of the dead. All the dead bodies will come back. So this also, however it's going to be an eternal, physical, actual building in the world, made of real stones and real materials. And it will draw all the Jewish people to the land of Israel. And that's the ideal situation. The whole world from that will catch on. They'll all become connected to the Creator who's creating them. The world will be a healthy world. But it all depends on our serving of God now in the time of what's called exile. Exile is another word for confusion. What's a better word for it? Comatose state. Right? You can have a person who's a genius mathematician and musician and leader, kindest person in the world, but if he's in a coma, so he's just like everybody else. You can't tell any difference between him and a stone or a rock. You have to move him to see this, to take his pulse to see if he's really not just a doll, a rag doll. So what's going on? So that's what the Jewish people are now. The Jewish people are like in a comatose state. And King David said it best, that we will be like dreamers. Hayinu kacholamim. Like dreamers. A dreamer has all sorts of weird dreams, and he really dreams he's doing something and getting things done. But really, he's just churning water. He's not doing anything here. So it is now in the time of Galus. Right? We think we're doing things, and we think we're getting things done, but really, our true potential, our true reality, the true good, which is hidden inside of us and everything else is concealed. So it's going to be revealed. That's the idea of the third temple, revealing the good in the world. People stop being selfish, which means no more religions. People worship only the creator of the universe. There won't be any more of these steps and rituals to get you into heaven. Here So let's learn. Hine. Ha'inyan hu. First word of the line is yihiyeh. Please be with me. Page Nun Tes, left side. First word of the line is yihiyeh. Right in the middle of the page. See? Ha'inyan hu. So let's understand this topic. Tehine bizmana galut, in the time of exile. Kativ, it is written. Ki, that Hishlich mishamayim eretz tiferes Yisrael. That God cast down from heavens the glory of the Jewish people. V'lo zachar hadom raglov. And God does not remember his footstool. What does this mean? Pirush Tiferes Yisrael. The Tiferes Yisrael explains. Tiferes Yisrael is one of the explainers of the Tanakh. Hine Tiferet. Okay, so what does it say? In the time of exile, I just finished saying, what is exile? Exile is like a comatose state, right? The Jewish people don't know who they are. They don't know what they are. They don't know what's right, what's up, what's down. Total confusion, sleepwalking, sleep talking, sleep thinking. Right? It's like a big, huge dream. Everything is upside down. There's no difference between a Jew and a non-Jew. There's no difference between good and bad. There's no difference between right and wrong. Crazy world. It says, but even more, what is really the result of the whole thing? Hishlich mishamayim eretz, that God cast down from the heavens to the earth, Tiferes Yisrael, the glory of the Jewish people. Water, get water. V'lo zachar hadam raglav, and God did not remember his footstool. What is his footstool? Perish Tiferes Yisrael. What does it mean, Tiferes? I'm sorry, I made a mistake. This is not. Tiferes Yisrael, he's explaining the pasuk in the Torah. What does Tiferes Yisrael mean? Hine Tiferes mora al hiskalalus. What does it mean? God cast down from heaven the glory of the Jewish people. What is the glory? What does this mean, Tiferes, the glory? This shows on hitkalalut. It shows on harmony. Kamo b'gavanim, like in colors. Hine gavan echad. If there's one color, ein bo yofi, it is not beautiful. Ki im kasher kalul mihar b'gavanim. Only if there are a lot of colors and there is harmony between them, then you can have the possibility of tiferes, of harmony, beauty. Beauty. Utiferet hu inyan yofi. And tiferet is the idea of beauty. The beauty of the Jewish people, Tiferet Yisrael hu yofi Yisrael. in the time of exile, the beauty of the Jewish people has been cast down. Jews don't want to be Jews. They don't see there's anything good in it. Ulahavin ma'oin and Yofi Yisrael. What does it mean? The beauty of the Jewish people. Jewish beauty. Yiddish Schönheit. Yiddish means Jewish beauty. What's the beauty of being Jewish? It is written, it is written, look down from your holy palace, mina shamayim, from the heavens, or borechet Israel, and bless the Jewish people. Hashkifa minon kodechecha mina shamayim, uborechet samcha Israel. Parshas Kitavo, in the beginning, the book of Deuteronomy. It's in the end of the book of Deuteronomy, but in the beginning of this portion, it says, God, look from your holy palace, from your holy dwelling, from the heavens, and bless the Jewish people. Isa bi Rishalmi, it says in the Rishalmi, Omo Rav Huna, Bar Rav Acha, says Rav Huna, the son of Rav Acha, Bo Ura'eh, come and see, Kama Gadol, how great, Kocho Shel Oseh Mitzvah, is the power of those who do a commandment. What is the greatness of a commandment? Shekol hashkifa arura. Anytime it uses the word hashkifa in the Torah, it means for a curse. Hashkif, like hashkif al Sodom, like vashkifu al Panei Sodom, vashkif Hashem al Machan Mitzrayim. Shem l'ra. This, whenever it says Hashem is mashkif, when He looks down, it means He's about to do something destructive to our enemies or on Sodom. The word hashkif means to look down, to what do you say, to look. And it usually means to look for something bad that's going to happen, to plan something bad. Except for this one. This is the only time the word hashkifa means good. We say hashkifa min hashamayim, and bless the Jewish people. Avol zeh b'lashon bracha. But this is in the language of a blessing. The bechinat b'hamadregat shenikra shamayim, that this level which is called the heavens, hine nirim Yisrael l'davar chashuv. The Jewish people are very important. In this physical world, the Jewish people are now in the time of exile, of confusion. The Jewish people are hated, they're despised, and even more, the Jewish people despise themselves. They want to get as far away from Judaism as they can. So what's bad about that? Let them do what they do. It's just because they don't see the beauty of being a Jew. They don't see the good. They don't see that it's the best thing possible of being a Jew. If you could look at the Jews for the way that God looks at them, you'd see how important it is. We can, you'll see. That's the job. That's our job. Of course we can. That's, first of all, that's what the Torah is for. If a person reads the Torah, so he's already understanding the ideas, he's looking at the world the way God looks at it. You're reading the words, these words are God's thoughts. So the person can think to yourself, what's godly about the Torah? Says, that's exactly the point. Godliness is not what you think it is. That's the way you look at the world. Right? The way you look at the world. So godliness is this sort of religion or something like that, right? So it should be mysticism, maybe. The Torah is talking about, exchanging an ox with a donkey and things like that. What's this got to do with God? God is supposed to be something, out of this world, some sort of spiritual out-of-body experience. So it's exactly the opposite. The most important thing to God is the physical, this physical world, the way it is. But just we have to change the way we look at it. That's the one thing that's bad with drugs and things like that. Bad thing, it doesn't encourage a person to be a better person in the world. It makes them look forward to the next trip. It makes them think that good cannot really be found in the world the way it is. You have to sort of alter your consciousness artificially. And that the drugs, essentially, the big problem with drugs is that you think you're doing something when you're not doing anything. It gives you the feeling that you're taking a trip, you're taking this. And in a way, even more, it takes away your responsibility. In other words, you lose your free will. The drug takes you away. Right? You're taken away. It's not you aren't really doing anything. Says the Rebbe, according to the standards of the world, to be confused, the whole confusion of the world, meaninglessness, is the name of the game. That's it. That's what the world is. It's a meaningless place. Says the Rebbe, if you look at the Jews in the proper way, you'd see that it's in the ability of the Jews to make this physical world the most meaningful and enjoyable and beautiful place, more beautiful than any drug experience or any sort of experience. The meaning of this physical world. And you can just see a little example of it sometimes, little examples of it. A mother with her own child. A mother with her own child. A child could be as ugly, a child could be ugly, stupid, if it's her child. Beautiful. Right? The child is beautiful. In her eyes, she'd give her life for her child. Right? She'd give her life. If she's a normal mother, what does she see in the child? I mean, she would give anything to help her child. People have children, they have the whatever is it, handicaps, whatever. The parents take care of them, because they love them. It's my son. Some people love people like that. It's rare. They just really want to help people. In other words, you can see good, if you have proper values, you can see in the world beauty because of a meaning. The meaningful connection between a mother and her son, a father and a son. That meaning makes things beautiful. Says if you can look, that's when he's looking from heaven. If you could look from the true values, then you'd see the beauty of the Jewish people, the potential, not the Jewish people as they are, the Jewish people as they potentially can be. The Shamayim hu bechinas Torah, looking from heaven, that's the Torah. The betevat Shamayim, that in the word Shamayim, hu eish and mayim, is fire and water. See where our first word in line is the tevat, is like 10 lines from the bottom of the page. First word in line is de tevat. Ukamayim, like it says, natal eish umayim upatchan zeh bezeh, that God took fire, it's a midrash, took fire and water and mixed them one with the other. Umehem, and from them, Bora Shamayim, God created the heavens. Eish and Mayim. What is this fire and water God took to make the world? What does that mean? I mean, there was no world. What's going on? God took, it says God created the heavens and the earth. The heavens were created before the earth. Right? So what does it mean God took fire and water? Fire and water, that's physical things. That's part of the earth. Where did they come from? And what does it mean He took fire and water and mixed them together, and from that He made the heavens? You can make the heavens from fire and water, physical things. How can you make the heavens, which are spiritual, from fire and water, which are physical? What does it mean? He says fire and water is talking about chesed and gevura. For those of you that aren't experienced in this, God has a personality. This is what's called the secret of faith. Jewish faith, real Jewish faith, is that there is nothing except for God. God creates everything. God creates everything. Everything is not God. The world is not God, but God is creating the world and the heavens and the earth and the spiritual and the physical. He's creating it all the time from nothing. What's He making it from? He's making it from His words, His energy, whatever. This was what Kabbalah talks about. You can say, one second, God is creating the world. It means that God is like a person or something like that. He's creating. He has this plan of creation, so there's things, this He likes and this He doesn't like, right? So the answer is, yeah, God is something like a person. Something like a person. It says in the Bible that God has not got any image whatsoever, but on the other hand, it says that God made man in His image. So God has an image, he doesn't have it, he's like a person, he's not like a person. So Kabbalah comes and answers this. There's what's called 10 facets of God's personality, 10 sfirot. And these are 10 facets of God's creative ability and that's what it means man is created in God's image. We also reflect these 10 sfirot. Let's take a short break.